Vancouver Island. If you're new here, my name is Lisa and I make gardening videos and nature videos for YouTube. And today I'm doing a little live garden tour. I've been pretty lazy with making videos lately. I just haven't been prioritizing that, but I've been working in my garden a lot into December. Didn't expect to be gardening this late in the season, but our winter has been pretty mild on the island, so I just keep on going. And I swore to myself yesterday or the day before I wasn't buying more plants this year. I wasn't buying more flowers this year. I was done with gardening, and I'm going to show you what I did. It's a little embarrassing in some ways. I did something. I bought 50 daffodils. I already planted 100 spring bulbs in my brand new garden. I'm going to show you where. Hi CR, welcome to my garden. Not sure if you've seen it yet. I just bought these. I have a garden problem. I have a plant problem. This is an addiction, a real addiction. Like, I literally swore to myself I wasn't going to do this after I planted 100 bulbs a few days ago. And what did I do? I went shopping and I bought more. I have a serious problem with flowers. But anyways, I'm going to show you where I planted the other 100 bulbs. And I'm going to show you what I've been doing in my garden. I've been busy into December. And no, there's no snow here right now. It's 0 degrees this morning and it's going up to about 7 later. So it's chilly, but it's beautiful. I gave you a sneak peek of my little mountain view. I love the mountain I see from my window. And let's check out the garden. So my garden is a work in progress. That's the only way to describe it. And what I'm showing you right now, this has been one of the things I've worked on in the last week and a half or so. If you saw my last live stream, I won the poop lottery. And I'm using it as a mulch in my landscape. I think it's actually pretty good. And these plants are going to be so healthy in the spring. It's like a natural mulch, essentially. And no, the odor is gone. 5-minute later thing. I guess more like, you know, in a few months it's going to be awesome. I picture the sunflower in the corner. Oh, there will be sunflowers here. I'll show you where I'm going to put them. I wasn't going to put them here. What you're looking at is a hydrangea. Over here, I think this is a Japanese laurel. These are cuttings from my parents' garden. This is Unimus. It's going to be so beautiful when it starts growing. My parents gave me multicolored cuttings, and I'm propagating them into a shrub. It's going to be gorgeous. I have a whole bunch of them here in the poop, and the poop is going to do wonders for this garden. But there will be sunflowers as well as other flowers. This is sort of the border along my fence. And right here is a blueberry bush. More hydrangeas. This is a ground cover called, I think I'm having some connection problems, but it seems to resolve. This is a moss. Fragrance can actually fluctuate flower. And it doesn't, oh, it does. It has a very light right now. This can be quite strong at different times of the year, but right now it's very mild, but still very beautiful floral fragrance. Drinking coffee, awesome. I had 2 cups of tea today. Well, 4 if you want to be specific. I've been putting 2 tea bags in every cup and brewing them for like long periods of time. So today I put in a gingerbread black tea mixed with a vanilla Earl Grey, and it was so delicious, and I put in a little bit of 2% milk. That was my morning tea, and I had 2 cups of it. So I am full of energy today. Let's continue the tour. So we have another blueberry bush. This is something called a verbinum. I can't say it. I have no picture to show you, but you'll see it in the spring. There's a fuchsia here, which literally looks like nothing, but here's what it will look like. I think it's going to be so pretty for the hummingbirds. They are going to love it. And over here we have another fuchsia that still has greenery on it. This one is cherry ripe Cape fuchsia. Another blueberry. We've got a plant from my last property, the famous creeping phlox. If you've seen some of my short gardening videos, those videos did really well on this channel. That is from my last property, propagation. And here is a beautiful purus bush. I can't wait to see it in full bloom in the spring. This was original on the property. And here is a burning bush. If you don't remember, I had one on my last property and it was show-stopping. So can't wait to see this in full foliage. And we have a California lilac. I thought I left these in my past and I did not. There is one on my new property. It's going to be so pretty with the blue flowers. And here you go, CR. This is my sunflower / flower corner. It's a work in progress, but this is where I will be putting some sunflower seeds and sunflowers, as well as many other flowers, including larkspur. And I won't tell you why, because I have reasons for not disclosing, but larks have significant larks and larkspur flowers have meaning to me on this particular property. So they're going to be planted here and they're going to have a little meaning for my neighborhood too. We're planting them, I am planting them, my grandma, here in this corner, as well as on the other side of my fence, which is going to be a massive rock garden. We're going to go outside the fence in a little while. But this is the corner for my flowers. I have all kinds of stuff here. We have a nepeta, kind of similar to lavender. I've never planted it before. So excited to have it. And then I brought a whole bunch of snapdragons from my last property. They're in here too. Lavender, one of the few flowers that's blooming, calendula from my last property. And then this little section is all roses. Cuttings, as well as roses that were here originally. I moved them. And I planted a hydrangea in this corner. This is Invincible Lace hydrangea. So excited to see it bloom. You can see the dried flowers just barely remaining on the plant. Very pretty. Coming this way, you guys have already seen some of this, so I'm not going to get into all the details, but there are blueberries here. And this is my pear tree, the combination pear tree. It was one of the earliest things planted on this property here. And my roses. I showed these in my poop video, but I'll give you another recap. This is a Floribunda rose called Europenia. I think it's going to be awesome in bouquets. Another blueberry bush. And this is the work in progress of my vegetable garden. Those piles are going to be turned into vegetable boxes. As you see already, there's going to be 2 mirroring vegetable boxes where the 2 piles are. Those are my grass removals. And I'm not finished removing grass. There is a ton more grass that needs removing here. The gravel's all going to get redone. It's really a work in progress. Those are the lights from my little lighting garden review that I just did for that company. And by the way, that company, oh my God, the people that own it are so sweet and kind. Garden REIT. They actually asked me to do that review right after I sold my house, and I said I could not because I didn't know where I was going, what my garden's gonna look like. And I was in such a transitional period. I said no, in the future I would be open to it. And they contacted me again when I finally got into my house and asked if I wanted to do it. And I said absolutely. And after it was all said and done, they gave me the sweetest thank you email. And it was so personalized and so kind. And they definitely want to do more projects together in the future. So that is super cool. So excited to be working with a kind company. I don't know what we're doing in the future, but they definitely seem to have things in mind. So that is fun. And let's keep going. So let's check up on the vegetable garden. Not much is happening right now, but we'll take a peek. As many of you identified in my early garden videos on this property, this is my rainbow Swiss chard. I didn't know what it was when I moved in. It's definitely an edible green. I've been eating lots in salads and it is so delicious. Now, I hadn't really eaten much Swiss chard in my life, but I have a new favorite vegetable and it is Swiss chard. It is so delicious. The taste, the texture is just so good. I used to love gourmet lettuces. Like, lettuce was literally one of my favorite vegetables, which might seem weird, but I love salads. And now Swiss chard is my new lettuce. I don't know if I'm even gonna plant lettuce in this garden because it is so delicious. I could have it every day. I don't because I'm usually too cold, and lately I've been eating a lot of soup, but I could definitely eat this every day and be very content eating it every day. It is just so good. I highly recommend planting Swiss chard in your vegetable garden. And I suspect it would do well in shade, not just sun. So if you have a shady spot, try growing it. Why not? So not a lot is happening in the vegetable garden right now. Kind of empty, but that's sort of what you wanted. I don't know if I showed you guys my composter. My rain barrel is good now, but had caused a little bit of drama to my house when I first moved here. That's a whole other story that we're not going to get onto on YouTube, but it's in a good space now. It wasn't in a good space when I moved here, but things have been sorted out. This is my compost bin. And yes, I have a lot of work with my composting. I am aware how to compost. I know this isn't ideal, and the fact that I've been leaving this off isn't ideal either, but we'll get there. It's definitely a work in progress. And now I'm going to take you to the front, what I'm calling the rock garden. You aren't really going to see rocks yet because it's not a rock garden yet, but that is what it's going to be. I'm going to bring the daffodils with me so I can show you where they're going to go. I had this little master plan in my mind, and I think it's going to work. So let's go and take a little walk to my front rock garden. And while we go, I will tell you about my morning. Other than my cup of tea that we've already discussed, I decided to start watching YouTube again. I mean, I watch, but I've been watching other stuff too. And I was very inspired by this video I watched this morning. Now, if you've been around for a while, you know that I love forest bathing and that kind of thing. And it popped up on my For You page. It wasn't forest bathing, but it was something very similar principle to forest bathing, but totally different. And I was so inspired. I started watching this video. I think I'm going to go and recreate the principle in a forest bathing video. So it's kind of like not new forest bathing, but new technique of connecting with nature that I'm going to incorporate into my forest bathing videos. And I'm so excited to give it a try. A little bit, not nervous, but I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm so excited to try it. And then I was like, I don't know if I even want to do a garden tour because I just want to go do this forest bathing technique, but I did want to give you guys a tour of the garden. So here we are. I don't have to edit this video, so that's why I wanted to do it live. And I've already bypassed the area I wanted to show you, so we're going to turn the camera around. Right here, my property is very strangely shaped. It's kind of like a pie. To be careful when I'm filming outside the fence, but what you see here, the border is with the road. Now, I haven't actually gone to the city yet, and I may or may not, I'm not sure. But I suspect there is an underground ditch right here because on the other side of my property there is a ditch. And that isn't super relevant except when it rains. It's kind of like a river here. But my plan for this package of daffodils is to create a whole sort of, not linear, but a whole like border of daffodils along the side here, which is not going to be turned into a rock garden. My rock garden is going to start closer to where my little triangle of shrubs are. So there's going to be this grassy, gravelly patch And my plan is to put daffodils somewhere in the middle here. A whole bunch of them. And then I'm doing this on purpose so it's low maintenance. So after they're done blooming, I can take the lawnmower and just mow over them so I don't have to cut them off. I think mow them or weed whack them, that would be perfect. So it's not gonna be high maintenance of like cutting the bulbs down and everything. And I think it's gonna be so pretty to have 50 daffodils border the corner property. I think it's just gonna be gorgeous. So this is the area that is going to be a rock garden. And no, there's no rocks here yet, but it will be transforming in the springtime. It's not quite the right time to do landscaping right now, even though I do a lot of picture. You can see the bed of dirt that I cleared out the grass from. Lots of shrubs in this area that I've planted. And this is where I planted 100 spring bulbs already in that dirt. It's a mixture of tulips and daffodils. And I think it's called the Sunshine Mix or Sunshine Blend. It's a blend of reds, oranges, and yellows. So I think it's just going to be such a beautiful pop of color. And I'm hoping just to add a little more cheer to the neighborhood. The people here have been so welcoming since I moved in. I have met so many people in a short period of time. They've all introduced themselves. I don't remember their names or their dogs' names. There's so many friendly dogs in this neighborhood. It is so lovely. And a lot of them come and say hello. If you've been around, you know I miss my old dog. And it's just been so welcoming to be here. So I wanted to do something to say thank you to these lovely neighbors. And I thought adding the bulbs to the corner, like this is a very prominent corner property. Everyone is going to see them when they drive by. And I thought just the pop of color would brighten people's day. So that's why I wanted to add so much color as a little thank you gift for being so welcoming when I moved here. Everyone is welcoming in so many different ways, and it's just so wonderful. And I'll show you one other project I've been working on, actually 2 projects. Right over here, without getting too close to the stop sign, this has been a massive project. This was all brambles and blackberries when I moved here, and was to the point where it was so bad it actually created a blind spot when you were driving. And my mom, one day when she was leaving my house, almost got hit by a car because she couldn't see when she was leaving and there was traffic coming, and boom, she almost got hit. So she went on a mission to remove all the blackberries. I wasn't even going to do it, but she was like, nope, we're getting rid of them. So she and my dad started, and I definitely have been helping a lot, and I've done a lot myself, including removing the roots. And we discovered there's actually a tree in the middle of what was blackberries right here against the pole. Now I'm thinking of getting an axe and axing away what is left. This is actually alive. This tree is both rotting and alive at the same time. It was growing. There was new growth on it, but it's also rotting. So this tree needs to go. And I have a big secret that the neighbors don't know about. Nobody knows about it except for me. And I'm pretty sure anyone who saw me doing it thought it was grass. I have planted something here. And it's kind of a secret, but you guys are going to know now. Anyone who watches the videos will know. This is going to be a wildflower little patch right on the corner. I put in literally thousands of wildflower seeds. I don't know how they're going to do, but I want this to be an area that isn't mowed. My rock garden isn't going directly right to the corner because there is city property involved here. So I can, most of this is mine, but I do have to be cautious of the property lines. So this is actually going to be all wildflowers, and I don't want to mow it. The city isn't going to mow it, so I want to maintain it, make sure it looks beautiful, it can be enjoyed, and it's going to be food for the pollinators. So I'm so excited for that to come to fruition. And I'm going to show you another project I've been working on. This is a big work in progress, and I have more to do, but we'll take a look at another work in progress. Aside from the ditch is a project in itself. It's full of blackberries, among other things, garbage and all kinds of other stuff. I actually have a project planned for the ditch once it's cleaned out, some plants, and it's going to be a beautiful ditch. That's all I'm going to tell you. It's going to be the most beautiful ditch. So this is a work in progress. You see rocks. This is not permanent. This is a temporary, not even fully constructed rocky garden, but it's definitely going to morph from what you see now. But I'll show you what's here. There are succulents. These were from my old garden. Lots of succulents. And then I have this, which is something I got this week. There's a whole bunch of them. It's called rock cress. I hadn't actually heard of this, but it is a ground cover. And it is meant for rock gardens, alpine gardens, that kind of thing. It's evergreen, which is super fun. Seems to spread pretty rapidly. I love that. And it gets white flowers. So that is neat. It reminds me of snow, not snow in summer, but candy tough ground cover. Like not so much the foliage, but the flowers. So I'm so excited to have in the garden. I don't know if it's going to do well, but I literally got thousands of them for free on Facebook Marketplace. So if it does well, that is super awesome. If not, it's not a loss. But I have a whole bunch I planted here. And then I have these, which when this whole area had blackberries in it too, that have been removed. Not as significant as the ones around the power pole, but these I discovered are roses. So something interesting about my property, this section outside the fence was only outside the fence this year. So when I bought it, the previous owner had constructed this fence this year. There was no fence, there was a fence, but it was in a different spot, and it actually went much further out to where I am right now. It was behind my fence in the old version of this garden. So this, I believe, was actually in the fenced off area until the homeowner at the time moved the fence, put up a brand new beautiful fence, and they changed the layout. So this would have been in my garden before, but it is now outside the fence. I don't know what these roses are, but I think they're wild roses, and I'm so excited to have them. I've been nurturing them. I gave them some really fertile soil to try to make them a little stronger. I might have put bone meal in here too. I can't remember. But I've definitely been nurturing them. I pulled out all the grass and weeds and blackberries around them. And hopefully they bloom. There's so many of them in here. So I wanted to create a little flower bed to kind of showcase them. So what you see here, these are a combination of yuccas. There's a plant called cordyline, and this is New Zealand flax. And these are all super drought tolerant plants. Once they're established, I will never have to water them, which is super awesome. They're very vigorous, and they're perfect for a rock garden situation. So this whole area is going to be rocks. There will be no mulch in this area. This, I haven't decided if this is going to get any mulch. It may, or it may just be rocks as well. So there's going to be a combination of river rock, gravel. I might do 2 different gravels, maybe even 3 different gravels. And it won't be the same as my last rock garden if you've seen my old videos. But it's going to have that vibe, but with more of a different twist. I could say more shrubs in this garden than my last garden, and less flowers, but there will definitely still be flowers. And there's also a couple of palm trees. If you remember my first garden tour here, these are windmill palms. They were in the vegetable garden, but I decided to move them out here because they don't fit into a vegetable garden situation. So kind of almost a desert / tropical vibe on the other side of the fence going on. And I think that's just a really fun vibe. I love it. So I think we're gonna end the tour here. Thank you so much for joining me this morning out in this chilly, beautiful morning on Vancouver Island. I hope your December is going super well. And most likely the next video you will see here is going to be that forest bathing video with a twist, which I'm so looking forward to creating. I don't have it planned out yet. When I do the forest bathing videos, there's actually a lot of thought that goes into those videos. Location, attire, time of day. There is a ton of thought that goes into those videos, which I'm still processing, but that is my plan because I was so inspired by the video I saw this morning on YouTube. So that's it. Thank you so much. I hope your December is super lovely. Happy holidays, and we will see you probably in the forest very soon. Bye-bye.